In the morning, the were-rat colony was found. In the mid-morning, it was made pretty clear that the police were in some way made. By afternoon, they began taking action themselves, as did you. Edwin,
Hello.
it is 3 in the afternoon on a pretty normal day. You'd know that today was the morning that Dravik gets up early to untie the were-rats. It happens every once a month, give or take.
Mhm.
Um, Obviously, it's on a lunar calendar, so it's like it's 29 days, but you know. So
Okay.
you're out in the square doing your thing. Flashes and sparks and music and all kinds of delicious revelry. I would like for you to roll an insight check just to see what we're starting with.
Let me see what my insight is. A nice, cool 12.
Okay. You have noticed a little bit more of a guard presence than is common on any given day. Most of them are generally chilling at the foaming mug, but it's, you know, other than that, it is kind of a day.
All right. I do.
I would also love a performance check. See what kind of audience you're drawing in.
Um, I am good at that. Dirty 20.
Nice. Okay. Plenty of
Oh,
people out
plus
here
major
tapping their
math. That's
toes. It is uh, the market again. It's bustling. It's exciting. We've got all kinds of goods being traded. So there's like this nice sort of hubbub or like a clamor in the
mm,
background as you're kind of working your stuff. You can see 3 or 4 people just kind of sitting listening. One of them in particular is making sustained eye contact, and it's after 2 or 3 songs that you think to yourself, maybe you haven't seen this person blink yet.
mm. And they're just staring at me.
Yeah, it's a you know a common person like you. One of the regulars, kinda. Her name is Doriana, but you don't really know anything about her.
Mm.
Um, uh,
Oh,
and as you focus a little further, you can see the faintest green glow behind her eyes. Her eyes are normally brown, so you've got this weird, like, hazel, odd situation going on.
at the end of the next song,
Hmm.
uh, I feel like at this point I'm just concerned that she's unwell.
Yeah.
Um, I'm just gonna go up to her and say, "Hi, Dorian. You look a little under the weather. Are you doing all right?"
Never better. How are you?
Does it sound like her
You haven't. You've
really
probably
interacted enough to really know that?
talked to her one time.
It does probably strike me as a little odd, though, the way. Okay.
She has never seemed this off before.
Um, I'm doing well. I mean, business is good today, and the people seem to be enjoying my dalliances. But yeah,
Mm,
I mean, are you sure you're doing all right? You just I don't know. Something seems different about you.
well, I have recent, and as you say that, there's a thrumming in the ground that you would recognize as an alarm system built into Blingden Stone.
Okay.
Uh, and as the ground thrums, uh, the police, the guard that are filling the streets, or like have been, not, there's not a ton of them, but the guards that are there begin to say loudly, "Everyone to your homes. Uh, 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 there's been a sort of a declaration of war."
That's it?
Yup. Everyone to your homes. Everyone. Edwin.
Yes.
Ravik should have visited.
Hmm.
And as you chance a glance out toward the outer edge of town, you can faintly hear alarm bells ringing and all lights on at the, well, the soon to be basilica and at the headquarters of the Knights of the Order.
Hmm. I think I'm going to race. Well, Dorian, I think it's time for us to go to our homes. Um,
Mm,
and I start to like just move towards the home. I'm gonna go check to see if Dravik is there
yeah,
first, and then
yeah.
if he's not there, um, then I'm going to just head towards probably the Basilica or the Order. I don't know what would make more
They're
sense
on
if
the same sort of campus.
okay.
They're like
Yeah,
next to each other.
I'd head that direction and start to
Okay.
just try to see what's going on. Mostly out of concern of like did did Dravik
Okay.
but that
Awesome.
declaration of war seems odd, but like I don't know. I'm concerned about him.
I would love an initiative check to see how quickly you can get home.
I'm slow. That's a cool 6 on initiative.
Okay. Gotcha. By the time you return home, not only have most of the people already cleared the streets, these streets are unprecedentedly bare, but also you can see guard actively patrolling the streets.
Mm, I'm gonna still go.
Okay.
I'm gonna fly.
Yeah, that's a bit of a hack.
I'm a
Uh,
bird.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Uh,
Well,
a
okay,
couple of
actually, no, that's not true. I'm gonna start walking first, um, towards the order
okay, and
and
you're
see
just like,
if they try to stop me or what's going on.
okay, yeah. Eventually, a guard is gonna see you and be like, "Oi, um, at your homes for your own safety. The order's declared war on town, and
The order has declared war on town.
I suppose it's it's become guard business. Um, I wouldn't worry too much about it. Just return to your home,
That
stifle you
seems
before you return.
worrisome, though. Okay, I'm gonna pretend like I'm returning home,
Yeah,
uh, and then try to not return home.
right. Absolutely. He's not gonna follow you. Um, but I would.
I'll try to be stealthy now.
Okay. You can try to be stealthy if you like.
I'm gonna
Uh,
try. I have
yeah.
silent feathers as an ability for a reason.
Roll me some stealth, baby.
Oh gosh, that's not great.
Not
Uh,
high on those dexterity checks this fine morning.
uh-uh. I did not stretch today. Um, I rolled a. What's my stealth? Stealth, 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 stealth. Uh, it's 10,
Okay.
which
You
isn't.
can see, you can see as you fly off toward the order's headquarters that guards on the ground and a couple of people from their windows are staring at you unblinking with that same eerie light behind their eyes. And you can see a couple of guards moving toward the guardhouse with reflective objects in hand, mirrors, or like windows and the like.
What can that be? Um, uh,
Weird.
that is odd. Too bad I don't have shatter. Um, that would be kind of fun.
That would be rad, actually.
Uh, um, so is it like, are they holding like big objects, like multiple together, or is it like,
You're able to see one like the kind of mirror that they would carry sideways like this, like fairly long, but like thin.
okay, um, I'm just gonna keep going
Okay.
and see what things look. I just want to try to see what things look like from within the order.
Okay. Uh, Inside of the order headquarters, you where you heard a ruckus initially, it is now dead quiet. The order is the headquarters is hushed. Not a lot is happening. No one is out. Well, there are two people outside.
Do I see anyone I recognize?
Um, I mean,
Well, actually, better question. Do the two people seem like they're doing the death stare thing?
uh, no,
Hmm.
not yet.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Um, I'm a little concerned about these mirrors, and I'm a little concerned about. I'm mostly concerned about Dravik. Okay, question. Would I know the most likely place? I'm assuming I probably would. That Dravik would go in a time of crisis if it wasn't home.
Um, Order HQ would be a fine place to find him, or like it could be the Were Rat colony for sure.
Okay. I'm gonna because I feel like I'm pretty on very friendly terms with the order. Last I checked, like they would see me and recognize a friendly face. I feel maybe, although it's a time of war, so who knows. Um,
Yeah.
I'm going to try to approach the headquarters landing.
Okay. Uh, the two guards clock your approach, and initially, I mean, before they realize who you are, halberds are out a little bit, but
Hmm.
they pull back a little bit as they see you.
I'm gonna I'm just gonna ask the two at the front too, like, have you guys seen Dravik anywhere? He hasn't returned home. And there's a declaration of war? What's going on?
A a declaration of war. There's a goblin and a human standing out guard. I'm not sure I know what you mean. I'm sorry.
He seems genuine.
Yeah, I mean you can insight check if you'd like.
I mean, I will, but it sounds pretty sincere. That's a 15.
Yep, give or take.
Um, yeah, the alarm bells are going off. I'm telling everyone to go home and that the order has declared war on town. Do you not hear the alarm?
And Edwin, as you rest your feet on the ground, you also don't feel the sort of thrumming that you normally would. Um, the alarm isn't
Oh,
reaching here.
the alarm isn't going off here. Oh no. What is going on? I feel like this is the right side of the fence to be on, though. Um,
Uh, well, um,
is Volton the one I have had the most interaction with at the order? Not
oh,
necessarily.
you could well have a friend inside. If you've met Sister Catalin, you've probably liked
Probably.
her well.
She seems very nice.
Yeah.
Um, but did I respond to the Dravic thing at all?
Uh, Dravik is a pretty distinct figure. They'd have recognized him come in.
Mhm. Hmm. Can I come in?
They look at each other quick, like we're not supposed to be allowing anyone in, but it's someone we know and someone we trust. So the human moves to open the door, and
Hmm.
nobody stops him. So he opens the door.
Okay. I'm going to go in.
Okay.
I'm going.
And as you do, out race a set of knights uh, toward the stables. They
Like,
are hauling it.
like members of the order knights,
Yeah.
like going out. Do they
Yes.
look
It
like
looks
they
like
have
they're.
creepy eyes?
What's that?
I guess they probably have helmets on, but I'm like,
Yeah,
do
they
they
have
look
the like masks. You can't really see their eyes through it, and they're charging. I mean, they're
on the
hustling.
town?
Yeah, they are heading toward the stables at this time.
Oh, but they're just running there right now, right?
Yeah.
Just for
Uh,
since I got here a little late, just for my clarification, is this happening like as during last session
Yes.
concurrently? Okay.
Yes.
what's going on?
And
uh,
they're already gone. But you can see the direction they came from. Following them, you'll see the conference room, and everybody is there. And two people have just been seized. They are moving now toward the cell block, which you have probably never been to. Um,
not.
as you follow, Curse is in a cell, uh,
Ah,
locked up. Hands are bound. Yes.
We did. He was brought actually, unless
Nope.
the found that
No, you're right. You're right. He
Everyone's
was
in the
brought.
feeding hall,
was
yeah.
yeah he was actually brought along because he had a guard with him, and he was actually brought into the whole discussion with the whatever guard we were talking to.
I was
Okay,
bound.
so that's a good point.
I was bound,
And-
but I have a card up my sleeve. If no pun intended. Actually pun intended. I have a card up my
Yeah.
sleeve to cut the metal to cut the rope.
as
You have
they
ace
are, as this rabble is kind of moving through the halls, you can hear whispers of eyes, glowing eyes. Something is wrong, and people are unsure as to what it is. There is a lot of anxiety and kind of panic happening here. And it's happening quietly because there are figures of power present in the room.
Hmm. Hmm.
But as
I'm just kind of, yeah. I don't even know what Edwin's doing at this point. I think he's a
yeah,
little sensory overloaded right now. Um,
are you going to follow the everyone as they
mhm.
move toward? Yeah. So
I'm gonna follow like where the movement's going anyway.
okay, and you can see two particular characters. Well, three who have this like same odd glowing situation behind their eyes, one of whom after some questioning is being brought toward the chapel,
Okay.
and
Ooh.
that is where we uh, sort of exit the recap and enter this.
All right.
As Father Darius Stark is setting up a monstrance, uh, putting the weird rubbery fungus host uh, in the monstrance, and y'all, are there any other preparations that we're making? So we've got the chapel, and if you're on Foundry, I believe you can see the chapel, which is super exciting. St. Lucia Catholic Church. Dang it. Almost everyone can, other than Blake and Owen.
I'm gonna refresh.
I'll be on in a sec.
Mac is gonna be in the back of church while they're prepping for um, whatever sort of ritual that they're gonna be doing. I will be doing a ritual of my own for this. I am casting. I would like to ritually cast Unseen Servant, so that I can write down more details that we see. I'm trying to figure out what exactly they're doing. So
One of my
Yeah,
favorite
so it's
spells.
almost like
So-
that Thomas Aquinas, like you are writing and also dictating to a scribe.
yes, very
Um,
much so.
Before we go into the chapel, I'm gonna give orders to the gathered knights. I want everyone split up throughout the castle, guard posts, no one in groups of less than 4.
Understood?
Very well. Again, if you see anything like this, gesturing to the 3 glowy eyed people,
Mhm.
detain them. Do as you see fit. I trust you all.
Mm-hmm.
When do I get there? And what do I hear?
I think you're hearing all of this.
Does
I'm
Curse see Edwin now?
Say,
Yeah,
Edwin, are you like
Edwin's here.
sneaking around, or are you just walking
I'm
to the
not
room?
walking, dude.
Okay. So as
Um,
Curse
I'm gonna-
Curse will actually like enter, like have you like once you enter in, and he'll go, "You are you're gonna join the fun, are you, Edwin?"
I don't know what you mean. Anyway, and I move up towards Fulton. Um,
I love Curse.
that is not eerie at all. Then this doesn't sound fun. Um, so I'm gonna go to Fulton and say, Fulton, I think the problem might be bigger. than you think.
Aiden, what are you doing here?
They called the emergency bell or the emergency tremor in town, but apparently not here, and
And they knew
saying that you declared war on the town.
Well,
Did you?
no, of course not. If we declared war on the town, we would not hardly be sitting in here now, would we?
And also, there's a lot of people with those weird eyes.
Outside in town, too.
In town, yeah. I just came from town. I was doing my job, like that normal thing normal people
Yes,
do. Um,
this is so much bigger than we thought.
yeah, there's this girl Dorian just listening and staring at me with those eyes. It was really creepy.
I like pull you in a little closer
Not
and like
particularly a Dorian.
I'm gonna like
She's
pull you
very
in close and
lovely.
like lean in. Like they're everywhere. They're in the keep. They're in the town. We don't know who is who.
What is it?
I'm gonna gesture towards the chapel. Come with me, and we may find out.
Also, quick question before we do that. Do you know where Dravik is?
Dravik is with y'all.
Oh,
He's right there.
I see him. Ah, thank you. Thank you.
He's T-posing.
I slapped Dravik.
I just
Okay.
killed Dravik right now.
Writes down 1 bludgeoning damage.
Hey, that could be relevant.
But what's
Matt.
the name of this knight we're interrogating?
There were 3.
Yeah, but there's the one we're bringing in, who's like most obviously possessed and like being directly spoken through.
Yes. Sildren is a Svirfneblin. He was one of the guard who was on Curse.
I thought there was a knight there's a knight that I was bringing into the chapel who
Yes.
was like speaking, like he was just talking straight from whatever this eldritch thing is.
That'd be Donner. Donner was
That's
the guy who was kind of going after little guy.
Yeah, Donner's the one we're bringing in to the chapel.
Okay. Great. Yeah. Awesome. Curse and Mac. You've had the most direct exposure. I would love for you each to roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Who's rolling with saves?
Not you.
Yes.
How is it?
15.
15. Okay, Mac.
Silly.
Sorry, wisdom save.
Wisdom save. That is a 12.
Okay, good to know. Okay, as y'all enter the chapel, Mac, you're hidden in the back beginning this arcane ritual. The monstrance is set out the way that the lighting is set is it's sort of all of the lighting is artificial in the Underdark, for indeed it must be. But it comes from sheets of luminescent fungus that are slotted between the 2 identical panes of stained glass.
I
on each
still
of the
cannot
windows.
see the chapel, by the way. I don't know why.
I don't either.
I don't see my character out there down anywhere either. I don't see like Bolton's token.
Okay. Well, I
what?
will have to figure that out some other time. Technology has never been my strong suit. But it looks like a pretty typical chapel, to be honest. Small, but not like small. It's the same size as like a normal smallish church. But is like about to be the basilica down here, so it feels small. Anyway,
Wait, so are we in the chapel like inside the order headquarters, or like in Father Darius's church?
that's a good point. I guess which would you rather be?
I was assuming we'd stay within the walls of the headquarters and go into the one behind the meeting quarters.
Hey, that makes a lot of sense. That is doable. Okay. Then, okay. In this smaller chapel, we would probably still have a monstrance,
Yeah, of course.
but it would be a more intimate setting. This is, I mean, it's only supposed to house slightly more people than this. So, Father Darius begins exposition, like with full Tantum Ergo, or Salutaris Ostia. I forget which one is exposition and which is benediction.
Tantamergo.
Oh no,
Thank you.
also Salutaris is exposition.
Salutaris is exposition. Tantamergo's benediction.
Is.
Gotta be a
Oh, yeah,
bubbly
yeah.
person here.
I full believed you, Dan. Don't you worry about it. So, O Salutarius, as Father Stark puts up the monstrance and the host, and Donner is looking around, kind of like almost miffed. He's like looking around at y'all like oof.
After the O Solitaris, I look over to my unseen servant, and I say, "Hey Siri, make a note to ask him about what language that was in."
You would recognize Celestial. Unless you wouldn't, your choice.
I don't think so.
Okay, that makes sense to me. Well, okay. What is happening? Is this guy being restrained or no?
No, I'm not gonna bother to restrain him. I'm just
Okay.
gonna hand on shoulder, sort of walk him forward, like to the front, and make him kneel down in front, and then sort of sit down on one of the benches right next to him, and sort of lean in right next to him to start asking some questions. Now, Donna, tell me anything we might need to know. I'll start broad. And don't tell me. Tell him. I'll point up at the monstrance.
Right. Well, I am. We are. He. I am one of many. And I'm not a devil. I know it. I know what it looks like, possession and all, and it is kind of.
Is this Donner speaking or whatever's inside him?
That's the problem. Is there's no difference anymore. That's why it's not possession. Nothing has a hold of me. I want this now. I've been made to. And I've also been made so that that's not a repulsive concept for me. It's not, it's sort of an external imposition of will, but it, it's external and internal. It's odd.
Did you choose this? Did
I
you
do
invite
now.
whatever caused this in?
Well, no, most of us didn't. I never. No, I didn't.
Then how did it make itself known to you?
Over time. It's been stewing in the city for. Well, I don't know how long, actually. And it's not just here. It's all over the Underdark. At least the North Dark. I don't know what's. Well, we've got brothers everywhere.
What is it?
It is. What it is like to understand something you didn't realize mortal beings could understand.
That
It's,
makes no sense.
it's a well, it can't. Not to you, not yet. It's a kind of truth that belies material truth.
Mac would like to cast a spell magic on him.
Yeah, by all means. Okay. It is. I'm gonna have you roll. I should make sure that that's still how it works now that I think about it, because counter spell got changed.
Oh, did it?
The spell did not. I would love for you to roll me an ability check using your spellcasting ability.
That would be a 19.
A 19. All right. You reach out, and there is part of it that's magical. And the magical part you see and are able to twist. But it's not all magical. And so you
Do I-
see the glow turn from a red to like a violet hue.
Hmm.
And his eyes move toward you. He stands up sharply and looks to the back of the room at Mac.
Mac sort of just claps his hand. You're being possessed. Someone's
Mac,
got a
did you try to
spell
keep
on
that
you.
at all? Did you try to do that at all sneakily, or do you just like openly like just cast a spell?
Oh,
magic?
I openly cast a spell magic for sure.
I would ask that you keep your sorcery out of this holy place.
Can't you see, brother, that he succumbed by some sort of enchantment magic. I don't have the skill to dispel all of it, which is why you can see that his eyes have turned from that reddish hue to the violet. There's got to be another wizard here.
It's not about power. You're so close. And this is why I need you. You. Oh, you want to know. And I know you do. And it's good. You should want to know. Knowledge is.
Power.
Nothing without romance.
You're so close. But there's a reason that you weren't able to do all of it. And it's not a lack of power. Power is just fuel and willpower. That's rubbish. It's you don't understand what magic is quite yet. You're so close.
Mac
Forgive me.
opens his spell book and he's sort of just like re-scanning the spell magic spell with the hand motions and the words and everything like that. And he's scratching his head as what did I miss? What did I miss?
It's forgive my aside. This one excites me.
Mac closes his spellbook in frustration and goes back to his unseen servant. Siri, did you get that?
I'm gonna grab Donner by like the shoulder and pull him back.
Right.
The ways of man may be fickle. We have no power. You swore an oath to him. You, Donner.
Mm. Um, you're right. I did.
So you realize, in breaking this oath, your soul is forfeit.
It is. Yes.
It is you I'm speaking to, and you chose this. And you know the truth. This is, you say, this is not possession.
It's.
I fail to see the difference between this and the devil.
Not
That was
Carl.
really cool. The devil is. The devil is an idiot. He's always. He never knows the forces that he's playing with. He tries to play with the divine. The divine is too big for him. There is a different ball game that your God has not concerned himself with. And that's the game I find myself caught up in.
Walton, at this point, like his fists are clenching and unclenching, and his breathing is getting more. You can see his chest rising and falling, and his wheezing starts to sort of fill the room. As Donner goes on, eventually, Walton all of a sudden just snaps and grabs him by his shirt and picks him. I mean, he's a Duragar, so he's pretty small, and picks him
It's
up to eye
Meddlin,
level.
but-
Yeah, and picks him up until he's eye level with him. I say this not to Donner, but to whatever abomination is behind those eyes. My God is concerned with you, whether you accept it or not. Release him, for I find you. I will die if that's what it takes. The moment you troubled this order, you signed your death warrant. And I'll sort of regain my senses and sort of drop him and push him away. This is going nowhere.
And
I apologize, everyone present.
with the outburst, you don't see any change. But as the man's eyes fall behind you on Father Stark praying quietly, you see the light begin to falter. It flickers a moment, briefly dies, and you see Donner breathe as though he realized something very sharply, And as his eyes clear momentarily, he turns to you, Valton, and says, there are some. No, Justin Blingdenstone. Justin Blingdenstone, there are 150, something like that. In Grackle's shoe,
150 of you.
with the rest of the obelisk, I don't have much time, my apologies. With the rest of the obelisk in Grackle's stew, you lot, I don't. They need eyes. They need our eyes. And they're going to take them if we don't hurry.
There's
Under the
150
city, under the guards, and you see the lights begin to come on again. Under in the cave. Men are frail. Men are frail. And none of them can fight it forever.
I'm gonna kneel down back in front of him, put my hand on him, on his shoulder. And this is to Donna. Thank you. Are there any other questions, or are we done here? I'll turn to the rest of the room.
I have a question, if you don't mind. What is this obelisk that you're talking about? And Mac, why are you so impressed with it and wanting to see it?
You go first.
No. Donner looks to Mac and wants to see what Mac will say.
Forgive me while I find my notes.
Okay.
Mac is just flipping through his pages. I forgot. Rebooting.
There are some very precious moments where DMs get a peek inside their players' heads and get to know where they are in the mystery instead of just telling the mystery to them.
The
Speaking of which, Tom, you should look at your text message I sent you about
Oh,
where
I
Little
did.
Guy is. Okay, good, good.
I did.
the obelisk. The obelisk is it's a monument of extreme power. It's how I came. It's how I came here. I have been studying the obelisk. Really, I've been a scribe for a fellow wizard in my world, the flying city of Arcanix, and it's in. I just need to get back home, and that is why I need the obelisk. I'm not supposed to be here. And that is simply the only reason for me wanting to go back to this obelisk.
So you just stumbled through a weird-looking door to get here?
No, it's not that simple. Not that simple. You see, with incredible magic powers, you have to decipher sort of the glyphs on it. You have to study the magic. You have to study the different connections and the words and the cadence to how the spells are said and how everything is weaved together in this universe. And this particular obelisk particularly cut a hole within the weave, and well, when you cut the hole in the weave, you're allowed to go through it. And obviously the obelisk went with it. I don't know if Yuli is somewhere here. Yuli is the wizard that I was studying under, rather scribed for. So
You-
It's not that simple.
The
I wouldn't
door.
expect a lowly mind to understand.
The door went into the door that it went in itself with you in it?
No. You misunderstand me. Try to follow along, little one.
No. It's
I'm-
all right. They won't understand.
I'm not little.
Little in mind is what I'm saying. It is the obelisk is not itself the door, but it creates said door. Compute?
I don't compute because I'm not a robot like you.
Perhaps you don't. Robot is a loose term.
So, forgot your name, prisoner, or whatever. So, why do you want this obelisk? Are you wanting to go home too?
I'm from the same place Mac is.
So, why aren't you a robot-like creature if you are one in the same with the person that we see now?
Well, as it happens, this plane that we hail from is home to all kinds of beings more powerful and extravagant than your folk are capable of imagining.
Right.
Mac is perhaps a lesser example.
Mac, as best as he can, just takes a gulp.
Mac, would you happen to know what this being could be?
There are a number of strong entities within the world. There are
We've made a history check about this before, but with added context, I would love another.
great. How much do you want me to spill, Tom? That we're doing an Arcana check.
Yeah, 20. History. yeah.
History. if we
History.
could.
Well, that is a 27.
Come on.
All right, Professor. What do you mean?
I'm not a professor at all, but I appreciate the flattery.
Your mind at this time moves to two things. First is the quarry. The quarry are like dream spirits who is it is what it says on the tin, but there are particular ones called, I believe, the Hashalak quarry, who are associated with having a lot of eyes. There is also a figure from fables and children's stories called Belashira, who is called the Lord of Eyes. Who is known. What you would know about Belashira on a 27, some kind of powerful eldritch being known to see through the eyes of everyone in the vicinity. And constantly thirsty for knowledge and looking to prey on those equally thirsty for the knowledge that it can provide.
So not that one.
It could be anyone. Eh?
It's
Pretty sure that Donner literally said that name last session.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did too.
I'm like,
Yep.
I'm like,
I-
by pretty sure I mean I just
Definitely
know.
heard that before.
Did you just turn into Watto?
Bella. This Belashira character. She's some unknown entity from the far realm. I've I don't know much about her, but the Far Realm is full of aberrations and things that don't always make sense. And believe me, I come from a place where things don't make sense. She'd be on another level.
Sorry, Mac, did you mention flying cities?
Yes, you don't have those?
Is that normal?
Where I come from, reasonably.
I have a misunderstanding of the Catholic Church, but isn't it sometimes that
So does everyone.
heaven has cities that fly in the clouds? Isn't that what heaven is?
I think we're done here. All right.
No, that is Mount Olympus.
Father Darius. And we finished.
Right. He begins benediction, and half of the party kneels. Little guy, I'm gonna roll a luck check for you to just see whether you would know what to do with benediction at this time.
We got little cards in the aisles, don't worry.
That's
I was gonna
spectacular.
ask also with I forget her name, but I did talk to her for a long time.
Mhm.
Would there be any chance that would give me advantage on the luck check?
That is what allowed you to make the check.
Yes.
And you have found the thing in the pew. That is the first thing that she said to you, is if you're ever at anything in a chapel, there's a card in the pew. Follow the card.
Tom, question. What
Yeah.
are the odds? Like, could people potentially make a perception check to see if they notice a card in the pew starts floating?
No. That's a good point. You cast invisibility. So I'm gonna say that Volton, you're probably occupied.
Wouldn't that
Edwin,
just turn invisible when he grabs it, though? Like, if you hold a sword when you cast invisibility, like, it would be invisible, right?
True.
So, just like, he would pick it up and just, like, disappear.
Well,
He was
anything
already
that's
in
worn.
before he picked it up, I think, is the problem.
I feel like
Mortal
invisibility would be
parry,
like whatever you have on your
actually.
person when you cast a spell, right?
Oh, that may make sense.
That's cool.
Yeah, it'll just be on your person as you cast the spell. That makes sense to me. So Edwin, Teos, you two notice a little card floating up to the height of about,
3 feet.
4 feet off the ground.
Not even
Uh,
4.
Good news, little guy. Your feet can dangle off on the bottom of the pew. You can kind of you have room to swing your feet around. So
I'm gonna poke. I don't know who's the closest non-Dravic one to me.
I would be relatively close to you if you want. I would prefer to
No,
be
I don't
close to you.
Teos is right there.
Anyway, I'm gonna poke him and point at the card that's floating. You ever seen that?
Yep. Once or twice. Probably nothing. I'm more concerned about the dude with
Edwin
glowing
is
eyes.
like going through the motions of the benediction out of respect because he knows he's been around enough and is familiar with the customs, but he isn't necessarily singing along.
I have a just a general question. Who is not kneeling right now? I know Curse is not kneeling right now.
During benediction, Mac would like to make it a point that he is going to walk out as the Tantum Ergo is being said, and as he's doing so, there is a floating book that is being held by his invisible servant, as well as the quill that is writing on it. He also is holding a book with an illusory quill writing in that book,
So,
and things are just floating all around him, and he's simply walking out of the chapel.
but everyone else is kneeling.
I think
I can't see you.
little guys probably is. I like the idea of what Tom just said, where like little guy's actually sitting in the pew.
Mhm.
But you guys can't quite see him. You just see a floating card.
But under Curse's understanding, everyone else is kneeling at the moment, correct? Okay,
I
if
think-
so if I see Mac leaving, I will take that note of like, this is too important for me. I'm leaving. So I will follow. Once I hear the scuffling of him standing up and opening the door, Curse will follow. Not like
Yeah.
not doing anything significant with being quiet. Just okay, bye. Excuse me.
Mac, your unseen servant begins to tarry a moment and stops writing. Stops just before leaving.
Hey Siri, what are you doing? It doesn't look like you finished.
It sort of nods, continues, and goes on its way out
Mac-
with you.
Mac looks back at specifically them kneeling, not the monstrance. He looks at all of them in a moment of intrigue of what are these people doing? And he continues to walk out.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Y'all are out about halfway through the Tantum Ergo. The rest of y'all are in. Weird holy hour, but there's no such thing as a bad one. But at this time, it is like it's starting to get late.
Is there time where it's just Curse and Mac outside, just chilling?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Curse. When Curse walks out, it looks at your thing and goes, "What's there? What's you said, Siri? What is Siri doing exactly?"
Siri is my helper.
Hmm.
When I need to write twice as quick, he helps me.
Why is he kind of see-through?
The correct terminology, Curse, is invisible.
Oh, so I can't see Curse? Oh, so you can't. Okay.
Correct. You
Okay.
see, you could have seen it kind of occupying the space of a being,
Mm-hmm.
but you would have seen it like holding a book and writing.
Sure.
It looks like a hand writing too. The pen is like tilted. It's not like
Yes.
straight up and down.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is as if someone casting invisible would be writing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But they would have had to pick up the quill and the book after they turned invisible.
Obviously.
So you're not a fan of the whole religion thing, then?
I don't believe in being fans of things that are not real. Simpletons who do not understand the laws of magic, of science. It's an experience and tradition that is based upon nothing but fairy tales. That's been my entire extent with these sort of quote unquote divine traditions, if you will. There's an order in my world of Corvair that has caused nothing but problems for us. They claim to be all these good people, but yeah, they've done some pretty damaging things. And this is someone who has literally written most all of the history of Corvair in the time that I was 1 to 2. That was the first task I was given, and so
Wait,
I see no reason.
What is your made date or birth date? No, you don't have a birth. You weren't birthed, I guess. So what is your made date, I guess?
He pulls down his hood just a little bit more, and on the back, right under number 316, you see the date that he was created in it, and it's about 21 years ago.
Well, when you're referring to people that believe in things, I was never a believer until looks down at his hands, his figure, until I was forced to know what that is, I guess.
I don't take you for a believer in this voodoo, do you?
Not necessarily. I guess you would just say I was forced to believe a religion.
So we're almost children.
Yeah.
And with that, the door to the chapel opens, and all of the people depart. Does anybody first, Volton, you had made mention of a plan not to get much shut-eye tonight, and instead to have people kind of on high alert. Is that still the plan?
Well, so as I understood, so people had already been sleeping for several hours. Like this is in like the middle of the night.
Yeah.
So I can say most people have gotten 3 or 4 hours of sleep. Like no, like,
Yeah.
especially with the news I've heard outside. No, we're on full alert the rest of them. And as I said, like people split off at their posts. No less than groups of 4. No one's to go anywhere unattended. Lookouts on the walls, gate shut, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I would like. I'll turn to Edwin as we get out. Edwin.
Yes.
Earlier we sent I'll ask the DM. Are all of the riders I sent out to like bring people in? Are they back or are they still out in the city?
Yeah, they're back.
Okay, all right, then never mind. I will not turn to Edwin.
What?
I would like to go over where the floating card was, and I'd like to just sit, like right next to where it was.
Yeah.
You
And
sit
I
on
would
a
just
board.
like to. I just sit and squish him.
Bug.
Yeah, squish the bug. I'll just sit there, and if after 2 minutes I hear no response, I'll just say I'll just kind of look over to where the card was floating. I'm probably not expecting it to be the little guy, so I'm not gonna look down. I'll just look straight over, and just be like, "Whoever you are, it's okay to come out now. I will not hurt you."
I would like it to be known that as soon as the father walked out, I was following him.
Just talking to them.
Talking to nothing.
Okay. Then Teos, you would have seen the card get put back.
Yeah,
And-
I wouldn't-
No,
if I
that's
saw the card, get put back, then I wouldn't have gone and sat down. So
Okay.
that is
That's
null
fine.
and void.
I legitimately was gonna mention that I was gonna follow father.
However,
if
I would
possible.
love a perception check from you, Teos, to hear footsteps departing toward the sacristy. where father has gone. For the
That would
record.
be an 8 with a
Uh,
passive perception of 15.
Would you like me to roll a stealth check?
no. Did he hear you?
Oh, I would have been trying to be sneaky. Yeah, I'm a little scared right now.
Okay.
So, I'm proficient in stealth, and I would also probably have it. I would have advantage. I would assume by being invisible.
Not
So,
on like auditory checks, but like
okay, that's important to understand them. So,
Are you flying?
would you like me? So, would you like me to make a stealth check to try to
no,
counterbalance?
I don't really do contested rolls as a rule. One person can make a check and I can just ask whether they think that's good or not. I might end up doing away with the check entirely, to be totally honest,
Um,
and just saying like, do you want to having one of the option having the options essentially be yes, no, and roll for it.
I think, I think,
Anyway,
I think he would have probably heard like the soft, like very faint footsteps, like kind of like that. Did I hear a noise? Did I actually hear it, or did my brain making that up type of thing?
so after the card is placed back, you can hear this almost like the little like insectoid like clickety skittery sound. And it's scampering in the direction of the sacristy.
Um, Volton, what are you doing?
I'm probably just gonna leave the room and go attend to make sure everyone's at their posts and basically, um, get ready for battle. I guess, um, for however long that takes, and then I'll try to get a group together for reasons.
I would say I'm probably more likely to want to go fight and kill something than investigate the sacristy, so I'll probably just follow Volton.
All right.
Edwin,
Little guy.
like, where am I gonna sleep? Uh,
Uh,
You can
Actually,
There
join
would
me
will-
like
in
to
the
pull
cell.
aside Edwin.
You can join me in
Okay.
the cell.
Edwin,
yeah,
you, being of the avian persuasion,
sure.
would be instrumental to our cause. We have no idea what's going on out there. You bring news
Yeah.
of an apparent war, which isn't again not surprising, and we are obviously prepared for. We need to know what's going on out there, especially at the
Uh,
guardhouse. You heard that.
Quick point of order. I did forget to mention something. I saw them, a couple of them carrying like some big mirrors. Don't know if that's relevant, but it was a little weird.
Mirrors?
Yeah, some guards were carrying some mirrors looking things.
Would that
Like,
make
the
any
ones
sense
that hang on the wall,
at
like
all?
that.
Is it supposed
Uh, well, okay. If your character would know any of this, just let me know. But mirrors and mirrored objects are commonly used in scrying magic. And for being that seems to be all about info, there's that connection.
Yeah, no, I got nothing.
you heard what Donner said? Something is beneath the guardhouse. Could you see if there are any heading this way, or if there's a concentration at the house? We cannot sit here indefinitely. Action must be
Yeah.
taken. They either come to us or we go to them. And the more
Yeah.
information we have, the better. So if we could
Sure.
get a literal bird's eye view of the situation, that would help us greatly.
Okay. I can do that. I will say, yes. No, no. I can do this. I'm like Edwin's
course.
kind of like not used to working in military settings. Clearly,
No, of course.
Um,
I am not an authority you must follow. This is a request, not an order. Of course.
okay. Um, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
As you guys are having the conversation, Curse will, hey Volton, so the guards know that I'm not a threat, so can I like not be like restrained when I'm walking
The guards know
around?
you're not a threat. As far as we know, they know exactly what I've told them.
I get the impression that everyone with green eyes is a threat, or weird colored eyes is a threat.
Your eyes are a weird color, to be fair.
Fair enough. But
If none of them heard us talk, you don't actually know anything.
I agree. I just
Yeah, what are
You
you?
saw everything that happened at that Ratkin city, and you still haven't told me, and you will still tell me. I yell loudly enough for everyone to hear.
Yeah.
So until that happens, those restraints stay in place. And beneath the mask, you see my horribly malformed mouth come in a slight smirk.
I turn around and go, I don't like being restrained this long. I need some cards to play. And as I leave.
Bro's got a
Thank you.
stim. Sorry.
Hmm.
Okay. As y'all are departing there, little guy, in the sacristy, you pretty much find sacristy things. Uh, do you have like, are you, is there a goal here, or are you just peeping around?
No, there is a goal. I want to find Father and ask him about adoration.
Okay. Then add to your character's trivia log that you scared the shit out of Father Darius Stark and also know about adoration now.
Excellent. When I when I get my answer about adoration, like what the monstrous is, and um, trying to figure out also like was that Jesus, was the host Jesus, and asking some of those questions, so I have a basic understanding for sure. That's like, okay, this is what I was learning about earlier. Is there like a cloth or something, like not like that big, like I mean like something that's like a robe type of thing.
You can find so much cloth at a sacristy. You have no
Perfect.
idea.
I'm gonna politely ask Father to like, could you like hold this over me?
Why? If I may, what for what purpose, young one?
I Donner scares me. I want to hide.
Well, you were invisible just now.
I know.
Okay. and he gives you a little like he cuts human-sized, not like big old bug eye sized
As
eye
he's like
holes.
just that, I'm gonna go like, no, 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 like I just like I try to make a gesture like I clearly want like this oversized cloth like just kind of draped over me, like like kind of like making like a little tent over me type of thing.
Right. And so he does.
Excellent. When he does that, I cast invisibility and I say thank you, and I run out the room.
Hits the side of the door as he goes out because he can't see.
So, for rules clarification, I have an invocation that I can cast invisibility, but I need to be in dim light.
Does the invisibility end when you leave dim light?
It does not say; it just says cast
Okay.
it.
It ends if you move, so you can cast invisibility under the blanket and. Okay.
So
Anyway.
you get what I'm saying? Like
I now
it's
I
even-
understand what you're getting at. Very
yeah.
clever.
I very much needed it to be dark.
Yeah. Okay. So. The long night continues. And Volton, you're spending a lot of this night making sure that everyone is in order, making sure that people know what is happening and what the patrol on. No less than 4, I suppose. So there's still 4 on you, Curse, and they are keeping watch of the other 3 um, confirmed sort of traitors as well. And
Oh, the traders are in a cell.
yes,
They're all getting locked up. Yeah,
yeah, and
or possessed. I don't know what you want to call
right, yeah, whatever they are. Edwin, so
Yeah.
we're on a scouting mission, taking a look at
Yeah.
what's going on in the city.
Um, yes. I'm just going to make sure. Well, yeah, I think I probably would be. I tend to wear darker clothes, but uh, I don't want to be wearing bright colors.
Mhm.
Which I would probably lose some of my accessories from the workday. Uh, and I'm not necessarily a natural at this, but I'm gonna give it a shot because it seems like he needs me, and I want to be a good guy. Um,
Okay.
and we're just gonna try to keep a safe distance up in the sky
Mhm.
and get a good view of the guard tower because that's what he wanted me to scout, right?
Yep, absolutely. Looking in, are you gonna spend some time like observing this, or are you just gonna kind of get a quick look in, see what's happening, and get out?
Um, I think I'm good. Well, first I'm going to go and just like do a quick look and just see like I guess if there's nothing of apparent note to me, I probably ah what am I supposed to do? Um, I
Use
think
your
I would.
judgment.
I think it's more likely him being nervous that he would try to do it. He would do things quicker. Um,
Okay.
so it'd probably be more of like he's gonna try to get to a good viewpoint, like look at like
Hmm.
if there's anyone moving, like any fruit movements, anything apparent, anything about something under the guard tower.
Yep.
Um,
Roll me a luck
if
check.
you-
Flat d20.
11.
11. Okay.
Yeah.
You can see, first of all, some people are moving toward the guard tower. Hard to see what is up with them from here, but there are some people moving toward the guard tower. The guard tower itself, 2-story building. Uh, any given floor is about like twice the square footage of a modest home. So it's
Okay.
like big for the city, but it's not a huge place.
Sure.
You can see in the windows there are people like bustling about, but there's only a couple on the top on the two above ground floors.
Most of the traffic seems like it's on the bottom floor.
Must be. Yeah. Um and there are a couple of guards on the wall. Are you being careful to not be seen by them?
That is my goal, yes,
Okay,
is to try
great.
to avoid
And
detection.
you can just I don't even need a stealth check. You can just adjust when you fly to make that happen.
Mhm.
Um yeah, so that's all you would be able to really see from the outside. There are no outward fortifications. The building is of relatively typical make. It was not built to be a bomb shelter, you know. It's just like a kind of a normal house, or normal, you know. So
All
yeah,
right. So there's nothing too crazy. Um, I'm gonna go back uh, to and tell Valton what I saw.
okay.
Uh,
Volton, there were a couple of people moving toward the guardhouse. The first two floors of the guardhouse were scantily populated. Um, Downstairs, there may have been more stuff going on.
there doesn't appear to be any movements towards the order. Right. So
Correct. Yeah. You don't see any like mobilization of units
yeah.
anywhere. Not yet.
Were they out and about in the street?
Like
There would
in
have been a couple of guard out and
yeah.
about in the
No
streets.
major force between us and the guardhouse.
No.
No.
I'm gonna call another meeting.
Okay. Y'all, as the alarm bell rings, uh, we are convened to the meeting hall once again.
Is that
We'll leave
are we
one
driving
group
first?
of 4 at the gate.
Is the group of 4 guarding the prisoners?
Yeah, well, yeah, they're gonna stay there too.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Am I
Um,
joining? Am I joining
yeah,
this
we'll bring
meeting?
Curse. Curse can come.
Okay. So there was a group of 3 guarding the 3.
But yeah, we'll have 8 knights either at the gate or in the prison guarding the 3 sussy people, you know? And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
everyone else is here.
Actually, are they in like the cell area where I am? Is where the 3 other guys are?
I think there's
They're not
3
in this.
cells, so we would spread them out
Sure.
between.
Actually, I would stay where the cell guards are. I fine where I'm at. I'm I'm
Okay.
just genuinely curious to see what's actually going on over there. So, anyways,
Okay.
I have a
I would like to be
proposition.
present at the meeting as well.
hmm
Yeah, I assume everyone is present apart from Curse because he wants to stay in his cell. Yeah.
Y'all can see a small figure with a white sheet covering him uh enter, and you can see the antenna poking up, like tenting the sheet.
Knights of the Order, guests of the Order. Through, obviously, this is a difficult night. Through the efforts of Edwin Stormcrow, we have learned many things, as well as interrogating Donner, in whatever state of mind he's in. Something is happening at the guardhouse. Something not of this world, something that it is our duty as an order to stop. We can either sit here in this castle, or we can do as our creed demands and quash evil where it may be found. I would ask for volunteers, but you all took an oath of obedience. We are marching on the guardhouse. Prepare for battle.
You can hear murmurs. Go ahead.
Yes, Edwin.
Raises his hand. No, like in character, he raises
Yeah,
his
yeah.
hand. Valton?
Yes, Edwin.
Hmm. Does this just make their declaration earlier a reality that
Yeah, we
we
will
are
march
at war
peacefully
with?
for the streets. We're going to request access to the guardhouse, as I've been inside the guardhouse many times before. Not on the town. The town will remain untouched.
Okay.
We have the right to proceed through the streets as anyone else. If we are tried to be stopped, that is on them.
Okay. I'm just saying, could be swung publicly to look bad. Anyways, that's
Well,
all.
if you were in this for the publicity, none of us would be here in the first place.
Yeah, but publicity matters. Believe me.
We have built goodwill here for 6 years. It's time to cash in on it. They'll have to
Alright.
trust that we are doing what is
Alright.
right.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay. You can
Are
you
there
can
any
hear the
objections?
room hush substantially after Edwin addresses a lot of their concerns and is swiftly responded to.
Are there any other objections? No?
Will Don in your head? You're gonna hear. Will Donner be locked away?
What?
And you'll hear back, Donner is locked in a cell.
All right. I take off the sheet, and then there's just nothing there. It's just like I feel better now.
If there's
Did you
nothing
think
else,
that she was hiding you?
let us go. I'm going to go mount up on Ramses. Any other knights will also mount up on their chosen mounts, and I don't know how many exactly. You can. I don't care. They're all mooks, but we're gonna open the gates and we'll leave the 4 guys guarding the cell and stuff. But other than that, we're going.
Okay. And as y'all begin to move on the town, I know Dan needs to get out of here in 45 minutes, give or take. Oh, he will be missed.
Before we leave, I want all the knights armed with bludgeoning weapons with the intent of non-lethal.
Okay.
Ooh,
We're not out for blood.
great. We'll see how it.
Is
The
Kirsch
response
welcome to this
campaign.
fight, or will he have to be forced to join this fight?
What?
Are you
Chris
allowing?
is going to be brought along.
Okay, I was gonna say it's either
I mean-
Chris is going due to his will or your will. It's just depending on which one you want.
I was trying to get you out of your cell. So.
I'm a
And,
valid fighter. Maybe.
Volton, Blake, pre-campaign, we had discussed a bit of an armory that the Knights of the Order had kept.
Yeah.
Plunder from taken from heretics or made for a time of war. Do you plan to open that armory to the party?
Yes, but there's some things they can't take. No heretic stuff.
Oh
Only
yeah,
cool divine
absolutely.
stuff.
Absolutely.
Some stuff stays under lock and key.
Yeah. What if I
Oh,
want
you-
heretic stuff?
this is gonna happen with Mac there.
Also, is Matt coming? Did you make the decision, Dan?
I am coming. I am coming. I want the guard. Yeah. Telos made a good point of
Yeah.
Obelisk is underneath. Max is super uncomfortable fighting. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
so as
I
we
do too.
open the vaults, like 12 knights get on one side of the massive stone table in the middle of the council room, and it turns out to like just be a giant massive stone slab, and they all slowly shove it to the side, and then underneath it is a stairway that just goes down into the dark. And then down there are just two massive stone doors with a knight there that you would like must be rotated out like once a day. Like there's always someone down here and you go down there, and he takes out this massive and like endless jangle of keys and slowly flips through them and then slides in and opens the door, and then there's just this whole other room that you would have never guessed was there. And I'll leave the rest to Tom.
Okay. This is not a gleaming, polished armory. This is a set of like crates and like weapon racks along the walls, and along the far wall is a shelf paned with glass and chained off. And on the far shelf, you can see like a gnarly red sword with flame decals and a dragon curling around the hilt. You can see there's a book that has a blank cover but looks like some kind of like manuscript that's like part arcane and part like subtly fiendish. There's some like nasty, creepy stuff behind the chained off shelf. But here along these walls, you can find some texts with information on um, creatures that are, in some way either diabolic or otherwise like dangerous, bad, and largely summonable. These are like Necronomicons that you could use to like learn how to animate dead, conjure demons, conjure elementals, or like all of these bordering from pagan to explicitly demonic. So, on the walls, first and foremost, I'd like to present this as an opportunity for anyone who would like to just text me a little magical item that they think it might be nice to have, and I will seriously consider it. Um, there's a lot of doodads on these walls. You can see a few goggles of night.
No.
You can see a couple of baskets filled with potions, some of which have been made in-house. Volton, you would know that. And some of which had been recovered from whatever have you. Yeah, that's very good. You can see two rosaries against the far wall that seem to carry with them a an unspeakable sort of holiness.
I would like to move towards the rosaries.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm
One
actually
of-
gonna just go and automatically grab one of the rosaries and offer it to Teos.
Bruh. I'm
There's
like, as a
multiple.
little
Okay.
kid that looks disappointed, I just look up like, Bruh.
One of the rosaries is offered to Teos. Teos.
Yep.
It is a beautiful sort of like the stones of the rosary are in the shape of red teardrops. And its dedication is Our Lady of Seven Sorrows.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
As you put it on, you can add a periaptive wound closure to your inventory.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it
I know what
is
that is.
okay, great.
Um, and then I just text you, Tom. Let me know what you think. Uh, if not, I can send you another option.
Oh, interesting. Do send me other options.
Okay.
I think for now something smaller than a full
I figured.
item. Like
I just want to.
for
Wait,
now,
what do you mean
small
by
arms,
small?
trinkets, and doodads.
Okay.
So
But
no like
also,
staffs or wands?
And I have a wizard's hat.
I also just want to know the kinds of items that you guys like and want to see in the future of this campaign.
What, you're saying you can't have Baba Yaga's mortar and pestle?
I swear to you, Thomas Stigman. Little guy, as you
Yes.
move toward the rosary, that you see a sort of hush calls to you from it. And as you pick it up, and as you affix it to your person in whatever way you so desire, you can feel this sort of implicitness wash over you. You have a rosary of non-detection. Its beads are made of milky sort of white marble, and the saintly dedication is Saint Anthony. Um,
Do I know what it
so
exactly
you will have non-detection cast on you for as long as you hold this rosary.
So no one can scry on me.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Blake, do you
I'd also. Oh, go
yeah,
ahead.
like does anyone stop me from putting it around me? I'm gonna is it big enough? Like can I have it
You could
affixed
wear
to
the
myself?
rosary as a sash. Is that what you're saying?
No,
Or
not like this.
as a
like-
a belt?
Like Chewbacca's thing.
Not like this. Not like that.
Like an altar boy belt.
Yeah.
And the cross is dangling from your hip.
Yeah. Like, is
CFR
that-
style.
Yeah.
Okay.
I definitely noticed you doing that, but I wouldn't stop you. More like, little one, do you know what that is?
It's a rosary.
And what is a rosary?
Tom, this is
I don't
okay.
think you've probably gotten that far.
Could I roll D20? It's just
Yeah.
like
On a high roll or on 11 up, you would probably know that a rosary is used to pray. And that there are prayers associated with the beads.
I got a 15. So I tell you that it's used for prayers. Mainly
And do you
Hail
know how
Mary.
to use it?
Yes. I will then I was like, yes. Well, what's the first one again?
I rolled a
Like-
dirty 20 on insight. Do I believe you?
As in I probably you get the sense that I understand a basic concept of the rosary. Just maybe I don't have all the like.
But like, if I asked you to pray it right
the
now,
actual
would you
Hail
be able
Marys,
to?
like I could potentially have that memorized, but all the other prayers might just be too much for me to have it off the top of my head, type of thing. Like I
I'll-
know there's
I'll-
more than just a Hail Mary.
I'll just kneel down to your level. When this is over, find me and I'll teach you.
My eyes get big, like excited.
Good. Very well. All right. I'll stand back up and go back to doing whatever I'm doing.
I'd
Guys,
like
I
to
have
make
my,
it known
this is my
that
first
when
D&D character that's trying to be Catholic. It's great.
when Volton tells everyone to grab blunted weapons, I explicitly put back my glaive that has a blunted end and pick up a greatsword. And set that on my back.
I sent you a text, Tom.
Me as well.
Adam, Curse immediately spots a coin on the ground that is clearly lucky. And you can go ahead and pick up a ring of protection.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a
Amazing.
good item.
It is.
I sent
It's
you
fun.
like 4 items, Tom. One that you probably don't know.
I was just spamming items until I was gonna get an answer, to be honest.
Uh,
Why don't you look up that one item, Tom?
Thomas, a cloak of many fashions is no problem at all. What does your fabulous new cloak look like?
Oh, so I picked this up and I'm like, I give it like the fancy like twirl around the back, and it kind of just like just picture something like the Greatest Showman would wear, and it's kind of that vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a hat?
No. I have Tesla coils as ears,
That's right.
so that
That's
doesn't
right.
quite work. It'd have to be custom. So, yes.
Okay, awesome. In addition,
Can you tell me one
you
more
see
time?
what's that?
Can you tell me one more time? What's essentially the spell that's being cast on me all the time now?
Non-detection.
Thank you.
You also see sparking to life, or like as you reach toward it, your Tesla coils like send electricity toward a small wand made of metal.
Yes.
I'm gonna call this item a wand of little bolts. Consider it a wand of lightning bolts, but instead of starting at 8d6, which is normal lightning bolt damage, it's going to start at 4d6. You can
Okay.
still pump in charges to add 2d6 extra per charge.
Okay. Sweet.
Yeah. What is Stonky's ring? I have to know.
Dude, I'm not even joking. It's I was just looking at the ring list because rings are cool, right?
That's what I did.
And
Okay.
it's the last, like one of the last ones on the list. It reads, it is the last one. Um, while wearing this ring, you can cast telekinesis spell at will, but you can only target objects that aren't being worn or carried. Um, and then any character who attunes to the ring gains control of Stonky's creations through the skitter widgets. Though the skitter widgets ignore commands spoken more than 30 feet away from them. And I have no idea who Stonky is or what his creations are. But I just thought it was hilarious, so I sent it.
There is a ring of telekinesis.
Yeah,
that
like,
says the exact same,
Stonk-
but
It's the stonky part is what
yeah.
he wants. He wants the part he doesn't understand is the thing.
I don't even care that much about the telekinesis. It's just it says Stonky. That's
Everyone
stupid.
finds a ring of stonky. Anyways, what else is other people getting?
Okay. Oh no, I had it. There we are. So, Dan, as Mac looks about, immediately he's going to see two separate spell sections. You would not have expected these people to differently categorize different types of spells. But they have their arcane magic in one place and their divine magic in another. And then you realize that the arcane and the primal magic are all lumped together, and it's actually just, like, divine magic is separate. The other two, that's heathen stuff. So you are able to find, I'll say, 150 gold pieces worth of, like, materials, like, supplies, to write down, like, spell parchment. There we are. That's what I was looking to say. In addition, you find a small pearl, and as you touch it, it fills with the same energy that powers you. You have a pearl of power on your person. And finally, not finally, well, kind of finally, Teos. You see a cloak that, on wrapping it around yourself, you seem to grow larger in the room, and so does your shadow. Write down a cloak of intimidation. That's gonna give you a +5 flat on intimidation checks.
Book of what?
Intimidation. It's not a real item.
Oh, okay, thank you. Thank you,
All it will just give you a +5 flat on intimidation checks.
Great.
In addition, it will allow you to cast the command spell on a creature that's frightened of you once per dawn.
Whoa.
You and you also have the rosary.
Yep.
Vulcan. It's time you got your shield out.
Hmm.
You have your trusty blade. She's seen a lot.
Well, alter that. So, no one's seen my blade. I've never taken out of its sheath on my back. I've always, whenever I've grabbed a weapon, it's been the flail at my hip.
Oh.
Down here, I've always had just a basic wooden shield, a big kite shield before. Down here is, sort of on a plinth, is a massive iron kite shield that goes, that like, it's like the size of a riot shield, just tapered down to a point at the bottom. On the front of it, on this iron front, is engraved like a Cairo, you know, the PX. And coming out from the sides seem to be like two folded metal wings, but they're like folded in at the sides of the shield. And I'll pick that up and swap that out with my regular shield and throw it over my shoulder. And then on a plinth next to it, I don't do anything, but on a plinth next to it, there's a shattered sword blade. It seems like half a sword blade shattered into 3 pieces laying there. Sort of think of like Narsil, Lord of the Rings, very much Lord of the Rings build, sitting there. But there's no, like, half the blade is missing, along with like the actual handle. But I will leave that and just grab the shield.
Okay, awesome.
Ooh, there's some backstory
For
there.
for clarity, Tom, I received the supplies to copy spells down, or did I, or are there a list of spells on the wall that I can copy?
For now, you just have the parchment.
Cool. Love it.
And Blake, do you know what your shield does yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's what if it's what I think it is.
You should text me what you're thinking. Because it's probably as good as what I'm thinking, or better.
When you use the shield, everyone around you dies.
The shield of missile attraction is the technical name for it. But yes.
Oh.
We have a flying carpet too.
Oh, why the heck is this named? That's got a new name.
I think so. One sec.
No, these are two different things. They're very similar, but they're two different things.
Huh.
Yeah, that's confusing. They're like the same thing but different. They go do the same thing, but they do it in a different way.
Interesting.
I don't care which either one.
All right. Awesome. Yeah. The shield of missile attraction is the one I planned for you to have. So, everybody has a little something except, well, little guy has a little itty bitty something. We'll get back to him when he's here. So, in the meantime, well,
to deal with the dryer. I'm perfectly okay with what I have. If you feel bad about not giving me another thing, I want a bag of holding.
a bag of holding will do great. I think little guy would absolutely grab a bag of holding.
Say every party needs one.
We're gonna
Someone
lose.
needs-
True.
No one asked for a bag of holding, so
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
my
yeah.
I don't need a weapon. So
Should have gotten a bag of colding, dude.
Well,
we could break those could be broken
ask
too.
Dravik about that. Anyway, y'all are headed into town. Freshly geared up, churched up, decked out in rosy. Oh, forgive me, Mac. You would also have found 2 scrolls of Revivify. As not a wizard spell, you wouldn't be able to transcribe them, but you do have 2 scrolls of Revivify.
That's right.
Is that a legit rule?
Yes, you
Okay.
can only transcribe spells that belong to your spell list.
Okay, and so I can't. I can't copy it. I also can't use it because I don't understand it.
That would be a character choice, but
But I could
canonical-
expend the scroll.
anyone can use a spell scroll. Caster,
Got it.
not caster, doesn't
I think
matter if you know the spell or not.
Flavor would be like you can understand it well enough to like cast the spell using the scroll, but not well enough to pick it apart to rewrite it in your own
Got it.
would-be language.
Is this
And also, and
Makes sense.
yeah,
It's like
I'll
anyone
wait.
can drive a car. Not everyone can make a car. Exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
it.
I like that analogy.
trying to make us more sturdy, Tom? Are you?
It might help.
I like to think of that came out like a campy like 1800s like drug box, and it's like Jesus Christ came back to life. Now you can too.
Oh, gosh.
We'll see. So,
We'll see. Roll for initiative.
y'all are headed into town.
Blinged out.
And are we mustering the full might of the Knights of the Order?
And I'd like to leave like 8 back here. Like
Yeah.
watch prisoners, watch the gates and stuff. Anyone who stays back so they're not unattended.
Mhm.
Other than that,
Mhm.
like the boys are hitting the town, you know?
Okay,
How-
great.
How
Yeah.
many boys are there?
I don't know. I'm not get ultimate numbers up to Tom, but I brought in everyone around who could be reached to the keep and who is in town.
So,
Of
Tom, how
the-
big is this army?
Of the capable men ready to fight for the order, we have just north of 100.
Oh, that was way more than I was expecting. All right, boys.
It is. Yeah. There were. Y'all have been in the Underdark for some time. There are probably some people in the Underdark nearby that I'm counting on y'all having been able to reach. So that's where that number comes
Alright.
from.
We're squatted up. We're so ready.
Yeah.
Dude, this is way more than I thought. I was like, what, we got 20, 40 people?
And worth noting, many of these people, probably like between 40 and 60, are wearing these golden masks that are marks of Knights of the Order. Many others among them are just able-bodied men of goodwill who you know to be of good repute, who
Okay.
are standing with y'all.
Okay, them
And-
coming is totally optional. They don't have to
Yeah.
be there. Okay.
And
Also, Blake, is it? Remind me for clarification. Is your mask the only one that's actually gold? I think in the past you mentioned. I think the other knights have.
Yeah.
Like, a
So I mean,
colored-
there might be there's probably might be a few others with gold, but the vast majority are just regular silver or iron masks.
We see like a sea of silver mask with like occasional gold one representing
Yeah.
a high-ranking leader type of thing.
Yeah.
Got it. That's sick.
uh,
That's actually terrible.
Father Stark has gathered everyone who is in praying condition in the chapel and throughout the keep, with rosaries in hand, fighting the real battle.
You right.
And as y'all march into town, you can see in the distance guards beginning to coalesce at the border of town. Ready, it would seem, for a skirmish. There are maybe 15 of them here on this, like, on the edge of town.
There's 15 that against 100.
More trickle, but
Whoa.
a familiar face motions for parley. Briskin. And you can see a light behind his eyes.
This is the guard commander, correct?
It's not. He was a person who he was the person you talked to last sesh when we were trying to kind of make sure you and Briskin talked to sort of figure out where the order and guard stood, and
right.
the answer was something like good.
That's right. You know, he's one who's in that. All right. How many others of the guards have their eyes glowing?
As you look over them, you can see 2/3 probably.
And does that other third seem to just not notice or just not care?
Roll me an insight check.
Come on, baby. Come on. 17?
They don't seem to be perceiving the glowing eyes don't make any kind of difference to them. It's just going straight over. They're not worried about it in any way, it appears.
Okay. We're gonna keep walking until someone stops us.
So what exactly is the plan? Are
Hey,
we
are we
just
parlaying?
walking until we stop and fight and kill everyone and we live or see hope we live, I guess? Or
Ideally, they let us into the basement to see what's going on there. No one has to die.
so are we going to push a smaller group of individuals to sneak around and behind to get beyond the vast amount of people that we are gathered here today? Um, or are we just charging through and doing one thing at a time?
There's no duplicity in this. I'm simply leading the order. We're going to stop by the guardhouse. It's just that simple.
Everyone's just very much armed.
I don't believe you.
I'm telling you exactly what I intend to do, and if anyone intends to stop me, then that is their problem.
Okay.
Ah, Briskin. Things seem tense. Can I help you with anything?
Told there was some sort of declaration out.
Well, yes, I was told that too. I was told that I myself had declared war on the town, but I have done no such thing. I'm wondering why this blatant misinformation, dare I say propaganda, is being spread so carelessly. You and I both know as well that the Order's done nothing but this town, and that if the fact that anyone in this town would believe such preposterous lies, I question the intelligence of whoever thought they would believe as much.
Well, the Order has existed as outsiders, helping outsiders in town for some time.
Outsiders, we
even-
were here when this town was refounded. We helped build it up brick by brick. We're as much insiders as any other native Blingdenstone.
Right. Right. It is not her will that your men should pass any further.
This is not her domain. This is Blingdenstone. We will go where we please.
Wherever people see, that is her domain.
I'm gonna lean right up into him. I'm gonna slowly lower my mask. Belishara, I do not see.
Here for it. Let's go.
And all
Knew it
he's
was
gonna
coming.
see is one eye totally swollen shut. The other milky white and like half swollen. Like there's clearly
Mm-hmm.
Let me lay out the situation. I have 100 men with me. Each of my knights are with 10 guards. Our oaths are to die. Theirs are not. We will fight to the last man. They will break and they will flee.
Ultimately, that's your prerogative. All we have to do is buy time.
Even in death, we will have victory, just as our Lord did. Is it going to be this way?
I don't know if I have a choice anymore. And as he says that, you can't tell whether he's talking about you or about Belashira. Are you going to choose to send a detachment of troops to fight here and then press on with the bulk of your unit? Or are you going to keep the whole troop together the whole time?
We're going balls to the wall, all forward, all the time.
Okay.
Never stop, never stopping. Just forward.
Okay.
Yes.
Then
Like, there's no rear guard here.
okay, yeah. As
I will say,
as
everyone who has a mount is mounted.
yeah. Okay. Then as we begin our first skirmish of the evening, that I think is where we'll call it a night.